Guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times and you're watching a video about the tips and tricks for the cameras on the Samsung Galaxy A51. The Galaxy A51 comes with a quad camera combination which you can see towards the back of the phone. There's three cameras in a vertical arrangement and then there's one towards the side. Firstly, if you're confused about which camera is which, let's explain that first. So the top camera, the first one is actually a depth sensor. It's a 5 megapixel depth sensor with the f2.2 aperture. The second one is going to be the primary camera, that's the 48 megapixel camera, and it comes with the f2.0 aperture. It's the Samsung's 48 MP sensor, which is capable of taking out some 12 MP captures, but you can still take 48 MP photos if you want to take it from that camera. Third one is the wide angle camera. It's a 12 megapixel f2.2 wide angle camera, and the fourth one is the macro camera. It's the f2.4 macro camera with the 5 megapixel resolution. So those were the cameras. There's also a flashlight on the front. This is the camera cutout within the screen itself. It's a 32 megapixel f2.2 camera. So now let's talk about what is offered in the camera application here. There's quite a lot to offer, so that's why I thought let's do a tips and tricks video so that you'll be able to understand what are the major things that you can do here and how you can take advantage of whatever features are available in the smartphone. So firstly, to swipe and change between the cameras. Firstly, it's between the rear camera and front camera. If you just swipe it up to down, it will actually activate the front facing camera for you with that beautified filters there. So swipe it again and it will take you to the rear camera. So that's the easiest way. There's this shortcut as well, but again, it's better to do it with this way, because sometimes if you're holding the phone in the horizontal position this way, you can't reach this one with the second hand if you're busy with that. So it's easier to actually swipe it and activate the camera through the swipe itself. Next one is about turning off the scene optimizer. So what happens here is there's a scene optimizer, which is this option towards the top. What happens is whenever you're trying to take a photo in the landscape areas or any special place, you would want to have this regularly turned on. The reason for that it would actually set up everything based on that particular scene. It would change the colors. Sometimes we have noticed that the colors are a bit washed out in some areas, or sometimes they are too heavily optimized. So that's where we would usually want to turn off the scene optimizer. The scene optimization being turned off, it would actually take a natural capture. Then you can edit it based on your own preferences, but turning it off is a better option there. Next, portrait live focus. So this is the option that you want to use if you want to take some background defocus pictures. This is the live focus option. So if you're trying to take a picture of anything like the Pringles box here, you could actually take a photo with the background blurred. So if you focus on this, everything in the background will be blurred, and you can now set up how much exposure you want to have on this one. And once you take the photo, you can also now check it out. This is the amount of blur that you can have on this one. So this is the blur. You can see the blur towards the back is now reduced. Now it would go to the maximum. So that can be changed as well. So once you take the photo, you'll notice that this picture is quite well blurred towards the background. So that's how it is. And in this, you can also change the background effect. So there's this option of changing the background effect, and select the area of the picture you want to actually change the effect of. And you can now change the amount of blur that you need in the background. So if you notice here, there's this particular blur in the background that can be reduced or increased based on how much you want it. And apart from that, there's also the spin blur, and there's the zoom blur and the color point. So these are the different options of blur that you can apply and save them multiple times after you take the initial capture. So live focus is not just about the portrait captures, but more than that, you can do that through the software editing, and that software is provided by Samsung itself in the gallery application. So the next tip is about the video recording and the super stabilization. So what Samsung has done in the recent times is they have offered the video stabilization options on the A series. There are some A series phones that have a much better one, but the Samsung Galaxy A51 as well, if you go into the video mode, you have the option of stabilization. So this is that steady hands or a super steady mode. So once you turn this on, and if you try to take a video, let me do a quick comparison video here. So I'll just shake it a bit and we'll see there's some dragging. So that drag is because it tries to stabilize and then take a video. So this is with that stabilization turned on. Now without the stabilization as well, let's take a quick video that way. and now let's compare it. You'll see that obviously there are some differences between both. This is without stabilization and now this is with the stabilization. So you'll see that it's less dragging here and it's pretty stabilized when you turn this on. But one thing is that it would actually make things a bit more stretched out. So if you're okay with that in the landscape videos, then using the super steady mode would be pretty good addition to your feature, because what happens is when you try to take a video of some sports being played, or if you're trying to take a landscape video, a regular video, having it stable, if you don't have a tripod, if you don't have a stand to hold your phone, having it in the hand, you will always notice shakes, which is common on any smartphone cameras. But if you have this option turned on, it would actually make the videos pretty much stable. Now, Pro mode is one feature that you would want to know about. Pro mode is something where you can change a few things, like the white balance can be changed. You can have it to the kelvins or the amount of light. Usually people want to have it at around 5000 Kelvin for the almost cool white and the warm white at the center of that. And then you have the exposure values as well. You can increase or reduce the exposure. This is mostly for those who want to take low light captures and want to have their own settings there. This is the ISO setting. It can go from 100 to 800 ISO, and then you can take a capture based on your perfect requirement. So this is the three settings that you can change. You don't have anything else. You don't have the option to focus it manually. It's just the regular tap and focus. So the only three things that you see here are the ISO, the white balance, as well as the exposure value. Those three things can be changed in the Pro mode. Next is the AR emoji. That's something not new. It's been there pretty much always, and this is how it looks like. So if you see that, this is the AR emoji, and here I am looking at the camera and it would actually turn its eye. So it's taking in all the details pretty much well, and as you can see, this is the smile. Let me change the avatar now. Now opening the mouth. So these things are pretty easy, and they are being done pretty well. So this is again the same way. So this is AR emoji, which is not new, and you also can set up a proper face, and you can create an AR emoji based on your requirements. That can also be done here. Now if you're someone who wants to actually take a 48 megapixel capture for your future usage, or you want to save a high resolution picture of something, you can do that by going to this aspect ratio option. Under the aspect ratio options, you see the 4:3 H. So what happens there is 4:3 H is the 48 MP mode. You can't change the lens here, you can't zoom into it, you can't do anything, because 48 MP is a fixed mode where that sensor is going to do all the job for you to capture the picture, and you can't do anything else. So this is the 48 MP capture that is captured here, and you'll see that the details are pretty well taken in because of that heavy resolution. And if we go into the details of this picture, you'll see the resolution is 8000 into 6000 pixels, and you have everything on auto. So it's f2.0, 1 by 50 seconds of the shutter speed, then the 4.60 is the focal length, and the ISO range is also set up there automatically. So those are the things that you see there, and you can turn on the 48 MP mode by going to this aspect ratio option and change it from there. Now, if you want to take some low light pictures, apart from the Pro mode, there's also a dedicated night mode that is given in the list of these features. So you have the night mode here. So hold your phone steady when taking night photos. So this is again a bright condition, so the picture is taken pretty fast. But usually the pictures do take time to capture when you're trying to take it in low light conditions, because the exposure time is or the shutter speed is increased there, the shutter time. And so you'll have to hold the phone steady, or again have it on tripod, otherwise the night mode wouldn't work really well. And this is the switcher to the wide angle camera and the regular camera, and this works not just for the regular mode but also for the night mode. So you can use the night mode with the regular camera or also with the wide angle camera. Now the dedicated macro sensor that is given here, the macro lens, the fourth one, is this one. You can activate it from here, and now you can go close to any object and try to capture a picture. So this is how you take the macro shot. It would be just about 3 to 4 centimeters close that you need to go, and then you can take the picture there. So not just this, I'll take another capture here. So this is how a macro camera capture can be taken. So you'll have to be this close to the camera, and then all the details are well taken in. And this is a 5 megapixel capture that is done by the macro camera on the Samsung Galaxy A51. Now there's also a super slow motion option here. So what happens in super slow is, since the light conditions are pretty dull here, what happens here is that it would take a video recording of 720p, and that is 480 720p is the resolution, and 480 fps is the speed of the capture. So if you go into the Bixby Vision, it would want you to point your camera at something. So this is that some object we are trying to show. Point at your camera parcel, and it's showing Skittles, which is in a way wrong, but then this is the best that it could do. So thank you Pringles is what it shows there. And there's also apps that you can go to, and you can install them as well. But Bixby Vision basically is that where it tries to tell you what that particular thing is. If you project it as some flower, it would try to show you images of similar flowers, and then you can know which flower it is. So that's the Bixby Vision there, and this is the switcher between the regular camera and the wide angle camera. And these were the major tips and tricks. It's not a completely dive into something else. It's just about the camera application to let you know how you can take better advantage of the camera app. And the 4 cameras that are given towards the back, it's the setup of 48 MP plus 12 MP wide plus 5 MP depth and 5 MP macro cameras. So these 4 cameras do work quite well, and it is a decent camera smartphone, the Galaxy A51. But this was the tips and tricks video to let you know how you can take advantage of these 4 cameras and make a better use of them. So that's it in this video. If you have any other doubts about this smartphone, do let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them. And subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thanks for watching, and till next video.